Hi guys, so we have a major prep update. So yesterday I was talking to Coach Dad and it has been a interesting week for the vlog. The last I think like 2 or 3 vlogs, a lot has changed, not that much, but a decent amount. As you guys saw, we changed from doing summer shredding, which we would have entered peak week today, and it would have been next Friday for summer shredding in Houston in July. Last week we decided not to do that show. And after we decided not to do that show, the plan was to move on to Worlds. So we were 6 weeks out for Worlds when we made that decision. And then after we made that decision to just prep for Worlds, we decided to basically just swap the shows. Okay, we were gonna compete in Worlds first, and then we were gonna compete in summer shredding in September, okay? Because I believe that they were about 4 weeks apart from each other. Now, things have changed again. So summer shredding is still next week, okay? That we are not doing that show, to be clear. But we are also not competing at Worlds. I have stopped my bikini design process for that. The shoes that I got in the vlog, I am returning. But at least for where I am right now in my competing journey, I don't have the same excitement that I did when I first started. This requires a little bit of background on my prep journey, fitness journey in general. So when I was 16, just a couple days before I turned 17, I decided to compete in my first show, which was with the WBFF. I decided March 1st, I turned 17 March 6th, and I prepped for 16 weeks to compete in the June Orlando show, and that was in 2019. And since then, I have done 8 shows. I competed in 2019 twice. In June of 2019, November of 2019, I competed in Miami, which I actually have a vlog about that. That was my first video on this channel. My third show was in 2020, actually one of the only shows that the WFF held in 2020. We traveled to Dallas, Texas. It was the first time I had ever placed at a show. I got 3rd place. Then I competed again in November of 2020 in Miami. Those were the only 2 shows that they had that year. After that, my 5th show, I competed in Orlando, June. The same show that I did as my first show. That was one of my favorite physiques, and that was in 2021. Then after that, my 6th show was almost a year later in April in Orlando of 2022, and that was where I won my pro card with the WBFF. That moment for me was just so surreal, was so emotional. I literally went backstage and I cried with my team. And I remember that prep, I was the most content with how I looked because I was the most consistent I had ever been for a long amount of time. I believe that prep was about 16 weeks. And then that same year in 2022, I competed in Atlantic City in December. That was my 7th show, my first pro show, and I placed 3rd in a really amazing lineup. And I was just so proud of myself. But I remember not feeling as proud with my physique as I did for my show that I won my pro card with. As a competitor, you know the amount of work that you put in for yourself. Putting your all into a prep is so important because regardless of the outcome, regardless of the fact that I placed 3rd, top 3 in my first pro show ever, that was an amazing accomplishment, but it didn't have the same weight as winning my pro card because I know I didn't put in the level of effort that I knew I could have, and I didn't have the best physique that I know I could have. I remember just not feeling the happiest with how I looked. And then I didn't compete again for literally a whole year. I competed in Atlantic City in December of 2023. That was my 8th show, my 2nd pro show. I placed 3rd again, and that was another prep that I just was not the happiest with. Every prep, I would say up until my pro card, I was just striving to get better. I was doing more, I was doing more, I was doing more, and although I didn't have the physique that I necessarily feel like was my ultimate physique, although my pro card one has been my favorite, I still felt like I could do more. Having my first pro show, I think I had a mixture of nervousness because I didn't feel like I belonged yet on a pro stage, which is a huge part of competing is when you don't feel like you belong, especially at a pro level. And I felt like I didn't put in the amount of work that a pro would be required to do. And so as a result, I was not happy with my physique. I literally don't even think I posted about it. That's how you know I wasn't happy with how I looked. It's not that I looked bad, it just was not what I had wanted. And then again, not feeling good enough to compete as a pro, regardless of the fact that I had made it to pro status and I placed, like that didn't matter. What mattered was the work that I put in and how I felt about it. I just know I didn't do everything I needed to do. Fast forward a year when I competed in my 8th show in Atlantic City, same show, again, did not do everything I needed to do. Here I am prepping for show number 9, and I don't feel as excited as I did my first 6 shows. I don't know where I lost the excitement. I don't know why. I don't know if it's because I've been competing for 5 years, and I think that as people and as competitors, you continue to evolve and you continue to want to be better. And I think for me right now where I'm at, it's purely personal, and I want to see how I can get better and see what new things excite me. I'm only 22. I started competing again, like I said, at 17. I feel like I have so much more time. I feel like I've only been doing this a short amount of time. My transformation has been amazing, and I don't regret a single show. I almost owe it to myself to kind of listen to my gut and trust my gut and trust my coach. And I just do think that it is time for me to try other things. I love the WBFF, I love watching the shows, and I love the glamour, the fashion component to it, and almost feeling like a model, like a fitness model. I wanted to kind of be honest and just share how I'm feeling with you guys, because I don't feel as excited, I don't feel as motivated, it is what it is, and I have to recognize that and shift my focus. So now we are prepping for summer shredding in September only. Getting ready for summer shredding, which is the one that's happening next week. When I started this series, I just truthfully felt just so excited. A lot of times people say that bodybuilding is a selfish sport. I think it's because truthfully the amount of work that you put in is literally only affecting you. All the work that you put in, stepping on stage, it is all for you. It is a complete personal journey. There is no guaranteed win. This is simply about bettering yourself and pushing yourself to do something you've never done before, to change the way that you look with some serious intent for an extended period of time. And at the end, it is always so worth it. I don't think I could have ever changed my life or the way that I view myself or the way that I look and feel happy when I get dressed up and do all these things without ever competing. And everyone's journey is completely different. Everyone has different starting points in the amount of time that they've been working. And I think it's so important to recognize that. But as for me and my journey, I do feel like I need something new to be excited about. And summer shredding was something that did get me excited. I checked, we are 69 days away at the time that I'm recording this, which is basically 10 weeks of prep. When I first started prepping, I was 12 weeks out, which means we have completed 11 weeks of prep. So by the time that we get to show, it should be about 20 weeks of prep. That is the longest prep I've ever had. When I say prep, I don't have an off season and an on season. I know a lot of times that competitors have a bulk, they're cutting, they're on season, they're off season. But as far as however long my prep is, it's just basically how consistent am I being with my meal plan, how diligent am I checking in, am I posing, am I tanning, am I vacuuming? All these things that get you in the mindset of getting ready to step on stage is basically what my prep is. So it's not an on or off season that I ever have, it's just, am I eating all the food that I need to eat? And basically, am I getting all my workouts in? I'm excited to bring you guys along this journey. Again, we already have the bikini, we already have the shoes, we have not started posing yet. I am just truly excited for this journey, and I'm so excited. Getting ready for this prep allowed me to start sharing my journey with you all and vlogging, and that's something I've wanted to do for the last 5 years, and I've never done it. And I'm just so happy that this was the show that kind of pushed me to do that. And again, like I said in one of my last episodes when I talked about switching in my last prep update, I think it's amazing that I get more time. My goal is to just be more diligent than ever as far as what the plan was leading up to Worlds. And I said that I was going to be following my 4 weeks out plan that I had for summer shredding, just for Worlds, have an extra week just to make any adjustments needed. We're going to continue the let's do everything that we need to do as if we were getting ready for Worlds just to see where we're at physically. Anyways, we are going to continue. I still got my cardio done this morning. We are still going to train later, but I did want to make this a separate video because I felt like it required more context and almost like a mental update of where I am. I truly just can't wait to dive into this new chapter of my prep journey and my competing journey, and I'm excited that I get to bring you guys along. Let's see what the next 10 weeks bring. I will see you guys soon.